Lagos Trade Fair demolition, a test of impunity, justice, and compassion. Okay, today alongside Senator Enyimba Abaribe, Victor Ume, Cole Austin, Akobundu, Tony Nwoye, honorable members of the House of Rep, Shegun Showomi, George Adegeye, Labour Party Lagos State candidate. Now you say, okay, president, gubernatorial candidate of the LP, because now I think this guy already moved to ADC, and coordinator of the Obedient Movement, Tanko Yunusa, who visited the site of the demolished Aspamda market at the trade fair in Lagos. Okay, yeah, they pulled down stuff, and traders already got approval. I must commend the traders for their remark restraint and calm in the face of a painful loss. I equally appreciate the senator and the House of Rep members who have pledged to investigate this matter thoroughly and bring to light the circumstances that led to this unfortunate development, and most importantly, ensure that the situation does not occur in the future. Okay, but why? Why was it demolished? Beyond this immediate cause, I urge government at all levels to act with compassion, fairness, and a deep sense of justice, especially at this difficult time. Many of the affected traders invested heavily, often through loans, in the hope of securing their livelihood and contributing to the wider economy. To destroy such legitimate investment without due process is not only unjust, but also economically destructive. A society that seeks to make progress must protect enterprise, encourage productivity, and defend the dignity of its citizens. Incidents like this should have no place in a nation that aspires to fairness. So, what's the context here? What's the context? There was a demolition that happened, okay? And this was when did this one happen? Let me see the timestamp. September 30, so that this was yesterday. Hey, now I lost that. I'm just trying to get the context, okay? Okay, so now OB is wrong on Trade Fair Complex, because I know once I get into the comment section, I will be able to know what happened. So OB had already said, oh, why would they come to demolish this? Okay, now, this is a response from Lagos State itself. Okay, press statement. Obi is wrong on Trade Fair Complex. Ex-Labour presidential candidate Peter Obi has visited the complex, okay, where Lagos State enforces physical planning law. He praised the trader for what he called their restraint, adding that the building that were knocked down had approval. He launched into emotional theatrics, describing the incidents as a test of impunity, justice, and compassion, all in an effort to mislead the public by misinformation and disinformation. This is unfair. Here are the facts of the matter. The owner of the building have no approval. So if the owner of the building can come, because the truth is this, even if the Lagos State government decides to pull down your property or your shop or your business center, you should always seek damage for damages. You should always sue for damages. In this case, it seems that there was no approval. And again, we can always say we want Nigeria to be great and Nigeria to be good and all that. But at our very individual levels, how do we ensure that we do the right thing? Now, this brings to question the situation surrounding property ownership in Nigeria. I think there needs to be some level of reforms, because it's always difficult at times to get the proper approval, or they make it extremely difficult to get the real approval needed. So let's just go. They got ample time to regularize their papers. I hate hearing this word. They got ample time to regularize their papers when the state government declared last year a general amnesty. So let's put it this way. They had no approval. The Lagos State said, you know what, you have to regularize, which was extended several times. The owner shunned the offer. When physical planning visited the complex, the gates were locked against them. They were beaten up. The police rescued them. When the government called the owners for talk, they said they would not come. They did not come. Do we have evidences to back this? Their defense is that the management board of the trade fair permitted them to build their structure. This is wrong. The board, which is the creation of the federal government to manage the complex, does not have power to approve or regulate building development within the complex independent of the Lagos state government. Yeah, because the state government actually takes care of physical planning, takes care of structural integrity. If there is a collapse in the building tomorrow, we're going to say, oh, what is the Lagos state government doing? Or we're going to say, oh, Nigeria happened to them. But again, I'm not oblivious of the fact that there's been a lot of bad blood between the traders and the Lagos state government. So is this a form of revenge? I'm asking myself that, just to be fair to also the traders. But the truth is this: if you don't have your papers, then there's nothing you can do. So the board, which is the creation of federal government, manage the complex, but they don't have the power to approve. Okay, that's said. Under the Nigerian Urban and Regional Planning Act of 1992, as domesticated by the Lagos State Physical Planning and whatever, all physical development in any part of Lagos has to have approval, planning permit, approval from the Lagos State through the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development. Yeah, so they're saying that, you know what? Yeah, you guys should have actually gotten the right thing. And again, there's been a court case on this, okay? Yeah, so the Trade Fair Complex Board may manage leases, tenancies, and commercial activities, but any construction, alteration, and development needs a Lagos state permit. Okay, good. In other words, they can allocate space, but building approval still has to come. So we must adhere to we must decide the kind of society we want, one governed by law or one ruled by emotion, followed by political interest. So this is the Commissioner for Information and Strategy. Was any member of the overstepping complex but punished for this? I don't know. Okay, so people are saying that, well, why would you give permits? Why would the complex management give permit when they don't have the power to do so? Did you punish any one of them? Again, yeah, it is what it is. At this point, I think that will clear that. You were a governor before, you violated due process. Why don't you engage the authorities concerned to understand the issues first before visiting? After all, yeah, I find this also funny, right? Like, you're coming to a state, you should have the fact of all the matters. You should know before you go out to make statements. And then people are bringing up stuff that
we have to remove in the state should give way. Our next program is that we have to remove all structures from the road as long as we are constructing the road. That's why we're even leaving most of the structures on the express. Once we start the work, the structures must go. The governor also made it clear that no compensation will be made by the state government over such demolition. In the state.
Yeah. So again, this was OBI Demolition's People's Houses, sorry, when he was the governor. And then there's a story behind that, because one of the guys, in charge of some of those buildings came out to say that it was actually a political retribution against him for not supporting Peter Obi's candidate when he was leaving government. So again, I'm saying that before you come out to say the government has done something wrong, you got to understand the context, because then you put yourself in a very difficult situation. And that's it. People are saying that why did they allow him to visit the complex? I mean, I wouldn't want to go that route, right? He has the freedom of movement. He has the freedom of expression. Why did you allow Obi and his team to visit the Trade Fair Complex? On what ground? Did they seek your consent? I mean, you don't need to seek consent to visit just a place in Nigeria. I'm sorry. Peter Obi has no right to visit Trade Fair Complex that was demolished. On what ground? He's not the president, neither minister. No, he has the right to visit if he wants to visit. What he doesn't have the right to do is to take ownership or tell them to do something that is against the law. So again, I just think that we shouldn't be too sentimental about this whole thing.